So do you have any books, resources, or podcasts that you recommend for nurses that are starting their money journey but are just overwhelmed?
Yeah, so I try to be careful with this because I'm a very money nerd, kind of math nerd thing. So I like to be careful not to put out the ones that are going to be more complicated. What started my journey personally was the Her Money podcast. And the way that it was helpful to me was first of all that it's hosted by Jean Chatzky, and she speaks about money in a way that doesn't seem intimidating, and then also not like no offense to Susie Orman, but not the Susie Orman girl-ness about money. She's very approachable, and she also there's none of that talk about like manage how much you spend on makeup and all that stuff. It's like it's just practical advice on how to manage your funds. And she has guests on from all different walks of life, and that's actually how I got introduced to the Choose Five podcast. And that podcast actually made the biggest difference for me, but it's very numbers oriented. So just an FYI for the people who do not like that stuff. Another great podcast for general purposes is it's for money, but it's more general. It's Ramit Sethi. I Would Teach You to Be Rich. That is just he actually interviews couples on his show, and they kind of walk through like the money psychology, especially. I think that that would help people open up so much more and having that conversation, seeing that there's other people like them out there. Like it's not just you that's going through this rough time. And, especially for people who have like trouble spending, trouble saving, and it feels like they're the problem. Like there's a whole story behind what you're going through. You're not alone. So those are
Yeah.
the ones I would recommend for podcast wise anyway. And then books, Your Money, Your Life is a great book. Okay. It really shows you how taking ownership of your money and grabbing onto your money mindset will help you to develop your like a life that you desire and a life that you want. Also, what was it? We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rogers. Inspiring. Literally inspiring, and really goes to show putting the power of what's going on with your money back in your hands.
I love that you brought up the tone of some of them, saying that they're easy, approachable, easy to digest. I think that did they ever teach you in nursing school that when people are at the bedside and they're in pain, they're less likely to take in information because their
Yes.
ability to learn is reduced? I feel like it's the same way when they're ashamed and they're stressed and they're just
Mm-hmm.
like trying to take that first step into like money management. So
Yep.
it's nice to hear that there's some really approachable, easy, like podcasts that don't shame the person and that they're really relatable. So that's really great for all the listeners to know that there's a safe space for
Yes.
people. And like I said, your resources are there too, and we're going to link to that. Um,
Awesome.
so